Yeah. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's one of those nights. One of those nights. Okay. Well, welcome to the Professional Foulers World Cup Situation Room. I am Jonathan Duran. Hopefully, I'll be joined alongside my co-host, Kieran Ballin. Hopefully, he'll be able to make it in here before the end of the show. He's having some technical difficulties on his end. Yeah, this is it's a tough day. It's a very, very tough day. The United States drew with Portugal today. 2-2 was the final score, and it was a blistering match from start to finish. Blistering. There's not much else you can say about it except it was, for the neutrals that were watching it, they probably had a great time. Probably had a great time watching this for the neutrals. For those of us here in the United States who were vested in this game, it was just a hard game, hard result to take. Well, as you guys make your way in, I'm Jonathan Duran. I'll be hosting this. Hopefully my co-host, Kieran Ballin, will be able to make it in, having some technical difficulties on his side. But we'll take your questions and comments as this show rolls on, and we talk about what's next for the United States. Well, before we dive into the heavy stuff, let's go back and talk about some of the matches that have led up to this point, so you can calm down and lead into where we are right now. Let's start with yesterday. Argentina and Iran. That was a pretty good match. Iran playing, they say, 5-5-5 with the 5 divine winds at the front, or the divine spirits at the front for Iran. They just put 10 men behind the ball. They defended, and they did that for 90 minutes. And the only difference between Iran and Greece was that Iran actually tried to attack as they went through the game. I mean, Iran, they were set back to absorb all of the attack coming forward from Argentina. Of course, you have to guard against Lionel Messi, and Leo was eventually the difference maker for Argentina. I mean, Iran, they really pressed hard, and as a Fulham fan, just as I went crazy, as you guys saw, I went insane when talking about Costa Rica with Brian Ruiz scoring the winning goal for the Ticos. Hopefully that's a return to form for him, and he'll be able to contribute for Fulham as the season rolls around. But I was really pulling hard for Ashkan Dejega. He played a really good game. He played a great game. Had some good crosses into the box. He was great on the corners, and especially just getting himself on the end of set pieces. I mean, not on the end of set pieces, but on the end of crosses in the box. He had one really, really great header. He just couldn't get it over the keeper. It was great if the keeper hadn't been able to get his fingertips to it. I was going to go in, and Iran would have had a 1-0 lead. But as it stood, Argentina came down. They let Leo get on his left foot, and he blazed one to the back of the net to put Argentina. I believe that'll send them through to the round of 16 with 6 points right now. Of course, the match yesterday. Well, let's skip the Group G match from yesterday. We'll work our way to that. Let's talk about the other Group F match from yesterday. Nigeria and Bosnia-Herzegovina. You got to feel for Edin Dzeko. He had a great strike. He had a great strike from outside the box. Incorrectly ruled offside. It was a brilliant run. Got a good through ball from the midfielder and just placed it right past the keeper. Incorrectly called offside, and that turned out to be the difference. As Emenike, oh man, you got to give credit where credit is due. Emenike just blazed down the right side, and he gave he gave the left back a swim move. 6 of one, half dozen of the other. The left back was pushing off, and they both had contact. And you can say that the linesman made the right decision, or you can say he didn't. It's up to you. But what stands is that Peter Odemwingie, as the phrase of the day yesterday was, coming out of international exile, which he did. Oh boy, Peter Odemwingie is just an interesting character. I always laugh about him when I talk to people, saying he's the man who tried to transfer himself to another team. If you remember 2 seasons ago on transfer deadline day with West Bromwich Albion, he went and parked in front of Queens Park Rangers' stadium, just went parked there, and WBA said, yeah, we didn't say that you're allowed to be there. And by the way, this deal is canceled. I mean, in the end, he did end up moving to Stoke City, where he's playing right now. But Peter Odemwingie puts away the winning goal, the only goal of that match yesterday for Nigeria. And Nigeria finds themselves in a pretty decent spot right now, as they all look to try to get through to the round of 16, as we have our final matches coming up this week. I'm Jonathan Duran. Hopefully my co-host Kieran Ballin will be able to make it in. This is the Professional Foulers Association World Cup Situation Room. I'll be taking your questions and comments. We'll take one right now as we continue to roll through recapping our matches from yesterday. Question coming in from Jonathan, which is a great name. If Costa Rica beats England, do you think England will fire Roy? Absolutely. Absolutely. If Roy Hodgson does not, well, they're already out of the group. But if England leaves without a point from the World Cup, it's the greatest debacle besides them not qualifying for the 1994 Olympics, and which was, of course, the biggest debacle besides after they lost on penalties. England, what a country. What a country, especially when it comes to football. We all remember 4 years ago, and they printed England, Algeria, Slovenia, Yanks. Easy. Of course, they don't win their group because Rob Green can't catch the ball. And, of course, here they are now. And, you know, I made this distinction, and we're talking about the England teams, that they rolled into the World Cup basically looking at their team the same way that we looked at the 1994 U.S. Dream Team in basketball. That's the way that England, I really feel, was looking at this national team. You have such great young talent coming up. You have Sterling and Sturridge and Welbeck and Rooney, the mainstay. You have Steven Gerrard. You have Leighton Baines. You have Luke Shaw, who, like, you got to give him a run. Excuse me. You got to give Luke Shaw a run now with this final match to be played. You have Gary Cahill. You have all these great players who are plying their trade in the Premier League right now, and most of them had just great seasons. Leighton Baines, great season. Daniel Sturridge, great season. Raheem Sterling alongside Daniel Sturridge, great season. Danny Welbeck, Steven Gerrard, okay, he had a great season. Wayne Rooney was not, well, yeah, he wasn't even his first choice striker at Manchester United this year, and he probably won't be this season. After the way that what's his name? Robin van Persie has just been tearing it up in the World Cup right now. He's leading with the well, actually not leading, but tied at the lead with the most goals scored so far in the World Cup. I really don't think Wayne Rooney gets a spot back. That's tough, and this England team has so much pressure riding on them, and honestly, they had to have come up with something. They had to have drawn one of these matches, at least one. I mean, you score first against Italy, you've got to be able to defend and keep them out of the net. You're going up against Uruguay, you have to be able to defend. I mean, well, okay, Luis Suarez is special. He's a very special player. Hate him or hate him, he's a very special player. and you have to respect him. And he tore England apart by himself. Of course, he did have the great goal that was assisted by Steven Gerrard at the end of the match. But still, Steven Gerrard did half the work, and Suarez had to put it away, which he did. And for a man coming back from a knee injury, too soon, too soon. Either way, credit to Luis Suarez, but Roy Hodgson, if England leaves without a point from this World Cup, he can't keep his job. There's no possible way that Roy Hodgson can keep his job. So the Professional Foulers Association World Cup Situation Room. And I am Jonathan Duran. Hopefully my co-host Kieran Ballin will be able to make it in before the show is out. He's having some technical difficulties on his end. And we're taking your questions and comments. Another question coming in from Diego, who I got tomorrow from Mexico, Croatia, and Netherlands and Chile. I got to put my money on Mexico tomorrow. This team, I've got to be quite honest. I'm really impressed with this Mexico team, and it's not just Guillermo Ochoa, who, I mean, take the hockey term, he stood on his head. He stood on his head in the goal, and it was just a great effort by him. But still, just besides that, the 5-3-2 with the pair of wingbacks have just been able to push the ball up and down the field, and they've just been great. They've been great for the Mexican national team, and they've got to be able to defend against Croatia. Croatia's going to be throwing everything they've got forward because Croatia needs this win to get out of their group. They need it, and I really think that Mexico is going to be able to hold on, and actually, I think Mexico will be able to win. I think Mexico is going to win. And probably Brazil will get the win as well. Probably Mexico and Brazil to get out of this group. And I know, Diego, you picked Mexico to get out. I scoffed at you, honestly. But you know what? This Mexican team, they're impressive. Good call on your end. Netherlands, Chile. Man, you gotta toss this up. Get a quarter. Whichever side it lands on, that's who you can pick to win. These are two great teams, of course. The Netherlands won't be able to field their pretty little 1 through 11 lineup with the injury to Bruno Martins Indi, which means that, of course, we won't get any Bruno Martins Indi's faces, which is sad. But Chile, we've seen what they can do. They're a very exciting team to watch. And the Netherlands, of course, they're just powerful. They're powerful and they're organized. And you have basically dam busters like Iron Robin and Robin Van Persie. With those two linking up together, and you get Wesley Sneijder involved as well, it's all over. And I really think that it's gonna be a crackling match. I'll probably say Netherlands 2-1. The late goal for the Netherlands to win the group. All right, this is the World Cup Situation Room. I'm Jonathan Duran. Hopefully my co-host Kieran Ballin will be able to make it in as well. Glad to have you guys along with us here tonight. Let's go ahead and keep running through our group matches here. As we get through our group matches, and we'll preview the matches tomorrow. Let's talk about the Germany-Ghana match. My goodness, what a great match that was. Fantastic match between those two sides. Germany, of course, powerful, jumping out to the 1-0 lead at the front. And then Ghana, we all saw how tough that Ghanaian squad was last Monday. We know how tough they are, and they proved it against Germany with those 2 goals. One from Asamoah Gyan, and off the top of my head, I cannot remember who scored the other goal for Ghana in that match, but just 2 really great goals for the Ghanaians, and of course, just back-to-back goals. Back-to-back goals. They piled on the pressure. They refused to be stopped. They refused to roll over for Germany, and they provided us probably with one of the, well, I mean, all of the matches so far have just been great. But it's one of the top. I'll say one of the top five matches that we've seen so far in the World Cup. Of course, if Germany would have been able to win, we wouldn't be in this. Oh man, if Germany had been able to win, we wouldn't be feeling some type of way right now with 4 points in the group, and more than likely we have ourselves through to the next round with our last match coming up against Germany, just needing a draw. But oh well. The other goal for Ghana, Andre Ayew. Thank you, Diego. But yeah, the man who hurt the United States in our first match, and he hurts us again. How about that? Ghana, we can't escape from him. No matter what we do, man, they're like the police. No matter what we do, every step we take, every breath we take, they'll be watching us and be making sure that they're close enough to stick us in our backs just to make sure to hold us down. That's frustrating. Oh well. Let's go to the matches today. Some really good matches today as well. Belgium and Russia. Okay, I take that back. There was one good match today, well, two, and it was not Belgium and Russia. I was watching this match and I was just praying for a goal, somebody to score, and thankfully the Belgians scored all the way at the end. There wasn't much else to say about this match. I refuse to talk about it. Let's move on. Okay. South Korea and Algeria, that was a match to watch right there. The Algerians looking to they're having their, I think they said they on the ticker was their first World Cup win since 1988, I believe, which is amazing. But just to see, and for them to do it in that fashion, they just went goal after goal after goal. South Korea could not defend on those set pieces, and Algeria, I mean, I don't know if whether it might have been just that South Korea was a lesser team, but Algeria gave Belgium a run for their money as well. So we'll see what happens when Algeria plays Russia. You might actually place some money on the Algerians to beat Russia. If they do, there's a slight if Algeria beats Russia, they can get out of their group. And, you know, long ago, we ran out of the perfect brackets in the World Cup Bracket Challenge. So what does it matter anyway? You know, when all else fails, personally, I like to root for chaos, and we're there right now. We're already in chaos. Chaos started when the first goal of the World Cup was an own goal. And that's when we knew that this World Cup was going to be spinning off its axis. And you know what? The world might be on fire, but we're having fun. Well, most of us are, at least. I hope you are. I'm having fun. But yeah, let's go ahead and talk about the USA-Portugal match today. Your guys' questions and comments. Send us in what you were thinking while you were watching this match. What it was like in the location where you were. I want to hear from you guys just to get a feel of what you guys were going through in your respective locations, as we definitely went through a roller coaster of emotions today, especially with, oh man, it was a catastrophe at the back. It was a I use that too much. It was a catastrophe. You know what it reminded me of as this match, as we went to halftime down 1-0, flashbacks of 2010. It was flashbacks of 2010 for me. 2010 was a stressful campaign. I think it was on purpose for us to leave everything at the end during that World Cup. We drew with England. We beat Algeria at the death, and we beat Slovenia at the death. That was just, oh my goodness. And now we're doing it again. What is with this team? Why can't we win comfortably just once? I want us to win comfortably in a World Cup match. When can I have that back? We deserve this. We earned this. Please, United States, let us get something that we can celebrate about from wire to wire. I know the World Cup is full of tough teams. It's 32 teams of hell. That's what the World Cup is. There's 8 groups. I mean, we might be in the group of death. Group D might have been the group of death. Who the hell cares? They're all tough groups. This has been a fantastic World Cup, and we need to be able to step up and be at that level of competition. We have one match left against Germany. Draw and we're through. But we can't settle for a draw. The moment that we sit back and settle for a draw against Germany is the moment that we lose. This German team will destroy us. We saw it today against Ghana. They take nothing. Okay, they take nothing. They fired back with the vengeance. Miroslav Klose found himself in the right place at the right time on the corner kick to slide away his 15th World Cup goal. Fun fact for you about Miroslav Klose: of his 15 World Cup goals, actually no, trivia for the day. All right, Miroslav Klose has scored 15 goals, average distance that his goals have been scored from. We'll take your comments in. Bring it in. That's your trivia for the day. Average distance of Miroslav Klose's 15 World Cup goals. But anyway, this German team, they take nothing, and they will destroy us the moment that we sit back and defend. We could not defend against Portugal. We were terrible working the ball from the back today. You have to be quite honest. We were bad working the ball from the back. The defensive mids did as best as they could. Jermaine Jones was working so hard. He and Beckerman were doing as best as they could, but the back had issues. There was issues with communication. I saw as DeMarcus Beasley and Matt Beasley both tried to run into a ball in the first half. We need to work on that, and you have to give DeAndre Yedlin came in. He did his best to make a difference, and I don't know. What do you guys think about? Reach your comments in on this as well. What do you guys think about at the end with Jurgen Klinsmann pulling the same thing that he did against Turkey, bringing on an extra defender at the end of the match to go? I think we went 5-3-2 at the end of the match. What do you guys think about us doing that? Honestly, I think we just stick with the same formation. You don't have to bring on an extra defender. You just make sure that you put everybody back. You brought in DeAndre Yedlin. He was playing on the wing, but he's a fullback by trade. You can pull him back. You have these guys who can come back into the box and defend. Just throw everybody behind there. And, of course, at the end, we get caught on a counter. And it was – I don't know about you guys, but the moment that I saw Cristiano Ronaldo on the ball at the end with the opportunity to swing it into the box, and after he played that ball in and I saw it spin and I saw it turn, I knew that we were going to need something. And, of course, that miracle did not come. We ended with a draw. Man alive. Man alive. Okay, but we can't sit back and defend. We have to play this German team straight up. We have to go in with the game plan to attack. We have to go in with the game plan to hassle them. We need to play with the same intensity that Ghana played against us. And hopefully, I'm not exactly sure which venue the United States will be playing their final game. If you guys know, you guys let me know. But there's no possible way we can play in the same conditions that we played in our first two matches. One in the rain, where of course it was humid. The other in the rainforest, where it was hot and humid. We saw the fabled World Cup water breaks in this match today. But yeah, I mean, we'll have some better conditions for us, but of course it's the same better conditions for Germany as well. Of course, the question mark for Germany is about Thomas Muller, about that facial injury that he suffered. It didn't look like it was an eye injury. It might have been maybe something slightly below the eye, but still might be some swelling there. But he's got 4 days. Got 4 days to ice it. I'm pretty sure that he'll be able to get through training. Might take a day off tomorrow, but more than likely he'll be able to get through training and play in this last match. So we got our work ahead of us. All right. Let's talk about the matches tomorrow as we're here running towards the end of our program. We already talked about Mexico and Croatia, and we talked about the Netherlands and Chile. I want to get you guys predictions for the matches tomorrow. Start with Australia and Spain. Please, Ruse. I want them to get their World Cup win against Spain. Unfortunately, they'll be without the Kangaroo himself, Captain Kangaroo, if you will, Tim Cahill, who will be out. He picked up a second yellow in their last match against Chile, but my goodness. Strike of the World Cup minus Jermaine Jones's equalizer today. Actually, you know what? I probably put Tim Cahill ahead of that. That left-footed volley on the run. He didn't even let it bounce. He just took it out of the sky, right out of the sky. Brilliant, brilliant volley by Tim Cahill. If that's his final international goal, it's a great one to go out on. Hats off to Tim Cahill. Of course, he'll come back to MLS and make lives difficult for everybody in the Eastern Conference, but it's whatever. But you know what? I'm going to go out on a limb here. I'll say Australia 2. Actually, no. They don't have Tim Cahill. Australia 1, Spain nothing tomorrow. That's my prediction. Netherlands and Chile. I said Netherlands 2, Chile 1. Cameroon and Brazil. I think Brazil has enough to put away Cameroon, but Cameroon is not going to go easily. It'll probably be, let's say, a 1-0 win for Brazil. It's going to take a late Neymar goal for them to go through. And then Croatia and Mexico. Yeah, Croatia and Mexico. That's the match to watch tomorrow. I hope you guys will be tuning into that. It's going to be on fire. Luka Modric going up against the three center backs of Mexico, and those two wing backs making trouble. Like I said, I mean, I've really been impressed with this Mexico team. When I saw them first line up with that 5-3-2 against Cameroon, I was thinking, well, Mexico throwing in the towel early, whatever. You know, Mexico did not impress me during the World Cup lead-up. They didn't impress anybody. They didn't impress in qualifying. They lost to Bosnia and Herzegovina in Chicago. They lost to Portugal in Chicago. And two matches that they really didn't look too good in. And then, of course, they show up to the World Cup. I don't know what Miguel Herrera said to this team, but he whipped him into shape, and he did. He's been doing a great job here at the World Cup, and I really see Mexico doing well against Croatia. I don't know. Like I said, I'll pick Mexico to win tomorrow. I'll go 2-1 for the Mexicans, and it's gonna. Mexico goes through. It's gonna be a very, 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 very rough 4 days, as we get to listen to them squawk about the United States being on the verge. We have to get through. Survive and advance. Living here in Raleigh, North Carolina. Survive and advance. Let's go, USA. All right, guys. Thanks very much for tuning in tonight. It's been a pleasure. You guys stay strong. Diego, thanks for the comment. We'll be playing against the Germans in Recife. Should be a good match. You guys stay strong. Let's go USA. And actually, before we get out, comment coming in from Jonas. Draw for Australia and Spain, Mexico, Brazil, and Netherlands are your picks for tomorrow. So it's about the same for me. Yeah, Mexico winning, Netherlands. Yeah, the Netherlands winning. I did pick them to win. Brazil and draw for Australia and Spain. I really think that Australia is going to be able to get the win tomorrow. It's going to be a fun one. But yeah, thank you very much for joining us. Keep the faith. We're going through. We'll see you guys on Thursday.